Imagine this. You're sitting in bed scrolling through IG or Facebook before bed when boom, Jason from high school just got married and closed on a new house. Your second thought is, I haven't had a girlfriend in years, or at least been with anyone who I really would want to be my partner. Fuck. What am I doing with my life? Time's running out. I'm at the age where I want to get a girlfriend and get serious about my love life, but I'm so lost. Who am I? And with this, the existential nightly routine begins. You are running out of time as an older man. Your fears are accurate and they're there for a reason. But wait, don't worry. You have some success in other areas of your life. Making money, career, maybe you have the best circle of friends ever. But no matter how successful you get, nothing has changed the fact that you are alone deep down. You've neglected this area of your life, and as you approach your late 20s and early 30s, or even mid to late 30s, it's catching up to you. By this time, you should have had countless girlfriends, hundreds of dates, gotten some results from online dating, and be able to interpret and understand social interactions like a real man. If this doesn't sound like you, then you're in serious danger of becoming a man-child, which is the most unattractive thing that a man can be. Now, the danger of becoming a man-child is that because you lack experience in dating, you can fall victim to a number of traps. I mean, just think about it. Physically, you're a 30-year-old man. Financially, you're a 30-year-old man. But when it comes to dating, you're a child in terms of experience level and maturity. And most importantly, your understanding of dating is not at the level that it should be. The fact is, you don't know what you don't know. And the fact that you are naive and ignorant about what you don't know, yet you're in a stable financial position, can also make you a victim to women who would take advantage of you, which is why it's very important that you get this part of your life solved ASAP. But don't worry, my man-child, I'm going to walk you through this before you become a full-grown man-child and show you what you can do even if you've fallen into the trap. Trap number 1, boundaries. A relationship is nothing without boundaries. You need to set boundaries of what's okay and what's not okay in the relationships that you have, especially with women. Because once love, lust, sex, and strong emotional feelings come into play, you're going to be very, very tempted to break your boundaries. You're going to be tempted to say, oh, I guess it's okay. Even though I don't like this, I'm going to say it's okay because I'm going to compromise because I really, really like her, or I have really strong emotional feelings for her. And those feelings and emotions are going to cloud your judgment. If you do this once, maybe it's not a big deal. You do it twice, but on the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 20th time, you've now created a relationship without any boundaries. You've created a relationship that is no longer on your terms. It's just now you abiding by what she wants and supplicating to what she wants. If you don't have any boundaries, then that means you're willing to accept anything. And if you're willing to accept anything, what do you think the chances are that you'll end up in a terrible, toxic, unhealthy relationship that you don't even like? A relationship you would never willingly walk into if you could choose to do so right now. And this is a huge problem older men tend to make, is that they just don't have any boundaries. And the reason they don't have boundaries is because they don't have experience with women in general. So they're like, hey, I got this girl, don't really want to lose her. She's asking for this or she's doing this, which I definitely don't fucking like, but I'm just going to accept it because I don't want to risk losing her. And this playing not to lose mentality is what allows you to have these non-existent or very, very soft boundaries that get walked all over by toxic, unhealthy, immature women who will take advantage of you and your kind nature. And the problem with having this happen as you get older is that now you have a lot more to lose. You're financially successful. If your finances get intertwined and you don't have boundaries over how finances are used, for example, do you see how a girl could literally bleed you dry and it would be your fault, not hers? It is your lack of boundaries that are causing the issue, not hers. Your willingness to put up with her behavior is what creates the problem here. Also, from a practical perspective, a woman can't be attracted to a man she doesn't respect. And if you can't set boundaries in a relationship, then she's not going to respect you. So while in the short term, you may think you're keeping her happy and just doing what she wants by letting her walk all over your boundaries and not having boundaries at all, ironically, over the long term, it's going to make her lose respect for you, lose attraction for you, and it's going to make the relationship very unhealthy and unpleasant for you in the long term. This is why it's extremely important for you to get clear as a man what your boundaries are, what you are willing and unwilling to accept in a relationship. Because if you don't, and it's something you're making up willy-nilly on the spot, you're never going to have any consistency there, and it's not only going to be confusing for yourself, and you're always going to be uncertain walking around the relationship on eggshells, but it's going to create a lot of uncertainty for your girlfriend and your relationship in general, which is going to make her resentful for you because you as the man are supposed to create certainty in the relationship. Some people say that the emotionality of women represents chaos, while the logical stability of men represents order. And when you put these two things together, the sum is greater than the whole. However, if you have no boundaries and you're not willing to put your foot down for anything, then it creates a chaotic energy. And if you have a chaotic energy and your girlfriend has a chaotic energy and you put them together, what do you have? More chaos in your relationship. Dealing with bad behavior. If you're an older man and you don't know how to deal with bad behavior, or you entertain and allow bad behavior in your relationship, then that's what your relationship is going to devolve to over time. For example, if a woman is raising her voice at you, yelling at you, cursing you out, being overall very, very toxic, are you going to put up with that type of behavior? If you don't have lots of experience with women, you're not going to know what is considered bad behavior because you're going to be oblivious, naive, and ignorant. The other problem you risk running into is that you, as the man, may be displaying bad behavior. You may be engaging in bad behavior because you just don't know any better. You've never been in a relationship or around enough women who are going to call you out on it and point it out to you. So you're going to be an unhealthy partner to the women in your life. And you want to ask yourself, do you really want to be an unhealthy partner to be with? Codependency. Codependency is when you become codependent and dependent on another person, your partner or your significant other. And the problem with this is that if you are dependent on another person for your sense of self, and when they're gone or when they don't live up to your expectations, you are disappointed, then you are forever at the mercy of another person. You've put your entire life and your emotional well-being in the hands of your partner, which can be very, very dangerous for yourself long term. As a man, if you're too dependent on your woman to make you feel good, she's never going to be able to live up to that because she's only human, but also you're never going to feel whole without her. This brings me to my next point, which is seriously intertwined with codependency, and that's making the other person the center of your life. This is a big problem that people run into in relationships, especially earlier on or in their first few relationships. You fall in love with a girl, you really, really hit it off, you have super strong feelings for her, you're like, hey, I like this person. You become addicted to the person and the feelings that this person gives you. So what do? You chase it non-stop. And by chasing it non-stop, you're inherently, subconsciously chasing the other person. This comes from a sense of scarcity. When you make another person, you make your girlfriend the center of your life. Typically, if you do this, it's because deep down you fear that you can't get another person who's just as good as your partner. And if they're the best option in your life romantically, you're gonna put them on a pedestal. You're gonna have expectations of them that are unrealistic. If you're putting your significant other on a pedestal, where does that put you? It puts you beneath them. And it's gonna cause you to put your needs secondary to your girlfriend's needs, which means she's gonna walk all over your needs and you're gonna self-mutilate your own needs in service of hers, which is gonna cause an unhealthy relationship, an unhealthy dynamic, and overall a very, very toxic environment. Do you really want to put your entire life on hold, your relationships, your finances, your physical health, your relationships with friends, family? Because I promise you, if you do this long term, you're going to end up very, very unhappy with all the other areas of your life, and you will destroy every other area of your life, all for a toxic relationship with a woman who doesn't even respect you. Learning to navigate relationship issues. The problem with having little experience in dating as an older man is that you just don't know how to navigate relationship issues. You lack boundaries. You don't know what's bad behavior. You make the other person, the center of your life. And when you do these sorts of things, you never learn how to correctly or healthily deal with relationship issues. One of the biggest behaviors that I see men run into when they try to navigate relationship issues and they're inexperienced and naive about how to do so is supplicating or supping. And this is basically when you're overall simping for your girlfriend, even in cases where it doesn't warrant it. The reason guys end up supplicating is because, one, they overvalue their relationship because they have no other experience or other relationships or other options with women, so they're like, fuck, I need to hold on to this and cling to it for dear life. And two, they don't know how to deal with relationship issues in a healthy or mature or masculine way. So they just supplicate, they just start supping to their girlfriend. Oh no, baby, I didn't mean to get you mad. I didn't mean to do that. Please, just don't be angry with me. Please, please, please. I hate when you're mad. Or actually, no, I don't even care that you forgot to do that thing that I asked you to do. Don't worry about it. I know you're stressed from work. It's okay. Do you see how cringe this is? Especially if you're an older guy. Once you get rid of your firm boundaries and once you lose your sense of self, all in service of trying to maintain your partner and trying to appease your partner, you become the most unfuckable, unattractive man on the planet because ultimately you don't respect yourself. The opposite of this, which is just as toxic, is when you get aggressive with your partner. When things don't go your way and you don't know how to deal with them, a lot of guys who are inexperienced will get aggressive or sometimes violent in the worst cases. This is absolutely unacceptable, and no serious high quality woman is going to deal with this sort of nonsense. And it's also an unhealthy and immature way of living your life and dealing with your relationships. The fear of being alone. As you get older, you start to make decisions from a place of scarcity because you realize, hey dude, I'm getting older. I'm really fucking afraid of being alone. And that fear only gets stronger as you get older, as your options deteriorate because of your lack of experience. And as the FOMO of watching your friends from high school and college get married on Facebook, on Instagram, all of your friends are married, your parents, your family are in your ear like, hey, when are you going to get married? You're getting older now. You don't have all the time in the world. I want grandkids. Your family and life and society is putting pressure on you to find someone. And deep down, you know they're right because you only have so much time and time is running out because you're an older guy. And this fear, this scarcity, this urgency to find a partner is the biggest problem, because what's going to end up happening? The most likely outcome is you're going to end up settling for someone who you could have done much better than, all because you never put the time, investment, or energy into intentionally learning how to date, how to be a good partner, and how to find the best partner for you. A lot of guys think, oh, I'll just focus on myself, dating women and learning how to date and going on dates with women and even getting physical with them. Oh, it's just immature and superficial. It doesn't have any meaning. Well, how's this for meaning? The woman you're going to be married to or be in a long-term partnership with, she is going to be the mother to your future son. She's going to raise your future son. He is going to have half of her genetics. She is going to be programmed by her because he's going to spend probably more time with her than he is with you because you're going to be off working and providing for the family. So don't you think it's important to know how to attract the right woman into your life, how to retain the right woman, how to filter out and screen for the wrong women so you can remove them from your life early on and have enough abundance and have enough experience so you have the abundance so that you know how to attract these types of women and you're no longer in scarcity. You have firm boundaries. This way you have a healthy relationship to bring your future child into, because if you don't have a healthy relationship as the foundation, how the fuck do you expect to raise a happy and healthy child? The right one will just come into my life eventually. It will all work itself out. Most men are not intentional about getting good at the skill of dating. And the reason they're not is because we have all these toxic bullshit beliefs that society puts on us. The right one will just fall into your life when the time is right, which is total fucking nonsense, alternative movie universe reality. People have all these bullshit, idealistic, romanticized views of what love is. But the truth is, man, if you want success in any area of your life, it requires intentionality. It requires you to get intentional. Say, I'm going to make an investment of time, energy, and effort into this. If you want to be successful in your career, then what do? You put your head down, you get intentional, and you grind your fucking face off until you're successful in your career and you have a lot of money. If you want to get in peak physical shape, what do? You diet, you get in the gym 5-6 days a week, and you spend time learning how to get in shape. You go in and you put the work. But why mysteriously, when it's time to get yourself a 10 out of 10 relationship with a 10 out of 10 woman, you just assume you can put no work in, she'll just fall into your lap without you having to do anything. She'll just walk into your life when the time is right. Do you hear how fucking stupid this sounds? And if you're an older man watching this and this hasn't clicked in your head yet, then it should really click now, because you're thinking like a fucking child. The older man's self-image. Because you're older and have success in other areas of your life, you start to build up a self-image and ego of the man you are. And once you build up this self-image and this ego, you feel the need to protect it. Most often what I see with guys I coach inside of my private clients program is that they're afraid of the rejection and failure in the dating area of their life, which is the area where they're lacking most, because it challenges their self-image and the idea of who they are. They think, hey, if a girl rejects me, then that challenges my ego of being a rich, successful, epic guy. If a girl doesn't like me, then hey, am I really that awesome of a guy? Are you starting to see the problem here? You can be 10 out of 10 physically, financially, professionally, but if you're down here, dating wise, you're down here and there's nothing you can do about it. And the fact that you're down here means that you have to walk all the way down from your high horse, all the way down back here to start from zero in a new area. And this discomfort, a lot of men just procrastinate it. They think, oh, well, I'm just going to keep focusing on my career because then the right one will come. Oh, I'll just get a lot lot of money, the right girl's gonna come when I have money. The truth is, she's not, because you can have all the money in the world, all the status in the world, all the success in the world, but if you don't know how to communicate your value as a man to that girl in a way that's charismatic, builds attraction, and intriguing, she's never gonna be attracted to you in the first place. No one buys the product they've never heard of. No one buys the product with shitty marketing. You need to learn how to market yourself and package yourself and take all of the value that you have and communicate it to the girl in a way that's gonna make her feel something, because women and romantic relationships at their core are emotional. And typically, the older you are, the more resistant you are to challenging this self-image of yourself. You're set in your ways. You're older. You know what's worked. You've gotten some success over here. But the truth is, if you really want to become your 10 out of 10 ideal self, your sense of self, your self-image, and your ego needs to be fluid. You need to be willing to put it aside and come down and come with a beginner's mind in order to build yourself up, to break and move past this sense of self you have right now. If you're afraid that you can't break past your own barriers and limiters to get even greater success, what does that say about you? It says you're a fucking coward. If your plan is to put no work in and just wait around for things to fall into place, one, that's a very, very feminine mindset and feminine frame of thinking. Number two, ask yourself honestly, does a high quality woman want a man who waits around for luck and circumstance to bring good fortune into his life? Or does she want a man who makes good fortune happen and takes fucking action and makes a fucking dent in the universe towards what he wants? Relying on your social circle. One of the big mistakes I see that older guys start to make, typically around the ages of 25 to 30, is that they've never actually learned how to go out, meet a stranger, and make her like you. They've never learned dating at its core. They've only ever dated through friends of friends, or girls they knew in school, or girls in their immediate social circle. Why do most people do this? Because it's easy and it doesn't require you to get out of your comfort zone. You never really have to face rejection. You never really have to go through the discomfort of putting yourself out there and approaching a total stranger and building attraction from scratch. If oh, she was in my class, or oh, we went to the same school, or oh, she's a family friend. If this is the only way you've dated before, you're kind of a pussy. And it's because you're too married to your comfort zone to go out there, put it all on the line, risk the tiny hit to your ego to go out and approach a stranger. And I see this most often with men aged 25 to 30, because you finally graduate college, you don't have a great social circle anymore because everyone has a job, everyone has their own lives, your friends get girlfriends, now you're all alone. So the only way you really have to meet women are dating apps. And even with dating apps, you've never dated anyone outside of your social circle. You don't know how to text her. You don't know how to go out and make small talk on a date. You don't know how to build real attraction. You've only dated girls who chose you. And now you're 25, 28, 26, 32, and you're like, fuck, I've had zero action these last few years because the one way that I was dating, I was overly reliant on, and it doesn't work anymore at my age. And now you have to put in the uncomfortable work of actually learning what dating is about. You get stuck in your comfort zone. You're like, oh, I'll just do it later. Or, well, I don't know how. And you end up procrastinating, and your dating life and your dating skills and experience suffers for it. The truth is, most men aren't willing to do that work or learn how to do it in this new way, so they don't bother and end up with mediocre results. So if you happen to be on the younger side and you're watching this and you know you're just getting out of high school, you're just getting out of college, don't fucking procrastinate this. Don't put this off. Get out there. Approach the girls at the coffee shop. Approach the girls you see at your fitness class. Approach the girls in the gym. Approach girls that you see in your day-to-day life. Learn how to do this now, because you don't want to be the guy who's 31, hasn't gone on a date in 2 years, and doesn't know when his next date is going to be, because he's never learned how to attract strangers, never learned how to talk to them. So even if he's on a dating app and he matches girls because he's a good looking guy, he's going to fuck up the texting. And even if he manages to get her out on a date, he's going to fuck up the date because he has nothing in common to talk about. He can't talk about, oh, we go to the same school, or oh, we know the same friends. No, you have to build attraction from scratch like a real fucking man. And now that you don't know how to do it, you're going to keep ruining all of the chances you get. So you better go out and learn it as fast as possible. Chasing money and status as an avoidance mechanism. A lot of men, especially as they're older, they've spent years putting their energy and time into work and their career as an avoidance mechanism. They think to themselves, oh, I'll just get rich, I'll get a nice car, and I'll have a nice house, and I'll buy everything, and once my life is in order, I'm making this amount of money, then girls will magically come. I don't even feel like I need to explain this one. This is obviously just an excuse. It's a form of procrastination. I've coached tons of multimillionaires, professional athletes, all types of older guys who are well established in their life, yet the women never showed up. They're like, all right, dude, I got the money, I got the car, I own my own house. Where are all the women? Why haven't they shown up? Where are they? It's real quiet in here. All I hear is crickets. There's no bat signal. There's no Amber Alert notification that goes out to every attractive girl's phone within a 2-mile radius that says, hey, John from 2 miles away is rich and has a nice car. You should go suck his dick. Like, of course not. If you don't put yourself out there and make the effort and you don't know how to communicate all the value you have in a way that's charming, intriguing, and builds attraction, you're never going to get them. The communication skills is ironically the most important part. Back when I used to do initial interview calls to screen the guys who were going to join my program, the most common reason they'd show up and reach out for help is because they were getting too hung up on one single girl after a date out of scarcity. They approach dating from a lack of desperation because they don't have any options. And if you're a rich, successful, accomplished guy, the woman is going to expect that you are supposed to have your life in order by now. If you're 32 and you still live at home with your parents and you don't have a job, she's gonna be like, what the fuck? I'm not dating this man-child. Get away from me. Meanwhile, if you're 21, living at home with your parents and you don't have a job, she's like, well, you know, it's kind of normal. Most people my age don't really have their career. They're still figuring stuff out. They're deciding if they're in school, blah, 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 blah. So if you're older, the expectations are higher, and those expectations apply to dating. So if you don't know how to turn her on, you don't know how to make her feel something, you don't know how to behave in a relationship, and you're older, she's going to lose lots of respect for you, and it's going to start the relationship off on the wrong foot. And this is the problem with guys who are older. They focus too much on their career, so they get hung up on one girl after their first date out of scarcity. It comes from a place of desperation. And because of all of this, now that you've accumulated all of this wealth, all of these resources, and because you neglected the dating aspect of your life, you're now more at risk of choosing the wrong woman, settling, getting divorced, or being in a toxic relationship that drains you emotionally and mentally. So, would you really, really, really like to accomplish a fuck ton in your career, get everything you want out of your financial and professional life, just to lose it all, or at least lose half of it because you were too dumb to learn how to get social skills, go on dates, attract a girl, charm a girl, be smooth, and learn how to have lots of options in your dating life? It seems like a no-brainer that you might as well do this because it's also one of the most rewarding aspects of your life. But if you want to risk losing everything because you're going to end up being a desperate nerd and choosing the wrong woman, then hey, it's up to you. Now, if you'd like to protect yourself from this downside risk and you'd like to expose yourself to the upside risk of having a 10 out of 10 healthy relationship, meeting a partner, and learning how to have options and abundance in your dating life, then this is the time in the video where I'm going to invite you to join and apply for my private clients program known as the Brotherhood. Inside the Brotherhood, me and my team work with you personally to get you on multiple dates per week with the highest caliber of women using both online dating and social media and in-person interactions. We've gotten tons of guys insane levels of success, like Nathaniel, who went from a bad breakup he didn't think he'd get over to over 200 matches on Tinder in his first 3 weeks inside the program. Or Ben, who went on 4 dates in a single day and closed twice in less than 12 hours. Or Sam, who closed the French lingerie model, got himself a 10 out of 10 girlfriend both looks and personality-wise, and consistently had multiple dates per week, all while defeating lifelong anxiety and learning to become a man of action. Or Hector, who went from divorced and depressed to getting 10 dates in his first month inside the Brotherhood.